It gives me great pleasure to introduce a very inspirational Rotarian who, since joining Rotary in 1999, has held the roles of Rotary Coordinator for Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Islands, Training Leader and Seminar Trainer at the International Assembly, and RI President's Representative. A resident of Ballarat, Dr. Jessie Harman is a past DG of our district, District 9780, is the first female from Zone 8 to be elected to the RI Board of Directors and is now a future Executive Chair for the Administration Committee for Rotary International. Please make welcome your friend and mine, Jessie Harman.
Thanks, Kathy. It's lovely to be with you, and I'm incredibly appreciative of the opportunity that I've had to join you this weekend. You know, it reminds me that this is where Rotary happens. You know, Rotary happens in our clubs, and you are taking on this very important role of leading our clubs in the next Rotary year. Now, my job today is to give a sort of wrap up of the weekend, which is no small task. And it's interesting, you know, some of you will know that I worked in a university for, well, nearly 20 years until recently. And in my early years, I went to a lot of conferences and seminars. Then I can remember once going to my professor and saying, do I really need to go to another seminar? You know, I've been to so many seminars. And he said to me, Jessie, if you go and you come away with just one key takeaway, you know, one new thing, then that has been worthwhile. And so I am looking at you all now, and I'm thinking I have from this weekend 6 key takeaways and one new phrase. And so I'm going to share my takeaways with you now. And I encourage you, as I do, to think about your own takeaways. So let me give you my 6. My first key takeaway is that Imagine Rotary is the most wonderful Rotary theme. You really have a ripper. You know, I'm confident it will resonate with every member. You know, I love that it is expansive and future focused, but it's also quite thought-provoking. And I love that it's also a little bit fun. And so you're going to be able to use this theme, Imagine Rotary, to talk about membership, to talk about public awareness and image, and to talk about impact and service. And so I hope you'll use this theme in every way that you can, you know, and I hope you'll use it to have a bit of fun as well. So it's a wonderful theme. That's my first takeaway. My second takeaway comes out of David Parkin's presentation yesterday. And it is that we need, you know, David talked about situational leadership for its time. You know, my second takeaway is that we need a very special type of leadership as we emerge from this pandemic. You know, we have to recognise that this pandemic has been an incredibly challenging period, and there are clubs and members that continue to experience stress. What we're seeing is that members are emerging from this pandemic at different times and with very different levels of energy. And so we absolutely need to be kind. But we also need to recognise that this pandemic has created opportunities for us, opportunities to increase our uptake of technology, to find new and innovative ways to meet and serve. And as we've supported the most vulnerable people impacted by this virus, it has reminded us that the world needs Rotary as much as ever. So I want to say to you, we need to do more than simply push through this pandemic. We need to take the learnings and apply them to create a stronger future for Rotary. And so I'm relying on all of you to do just that. Now, my third takeaway, I think, came largely from Emma's presentation. Emma talked about the power of vision and values, and particularly the importance of understanding your why. And so that's my third takeaway. What's your club's why? Why is it that your members roll up week after week to be part of Rotary? What is your club's why? Have you sat down and asked your members why they joined? Have you had that conversation in your club? You know, as you're moving into this role, as you're doing this preparation, it's the perfect time to sit down and think about what's your why, because members will mobilise around the why. Now, my fourth key takeaway, again, out of yesterday's presentations, but I've heard it a lot today. My fourth key takeaway is that humility is everything. Our members give their time, treasure, and talent without any expectation of reward. And it behoves us all to remember that. You know, to build a culture of appreciation in our clubs, and to absolutely be thankful and gracious about our members' contributions. You are not taking up this role to be in charge. You are taking up this role to care for the club and members that are in your charge. Humility is absolutely everything. My fifth takeaway has been a theme all weekend, and it's such an important one. And it is that message that is engagement really matters. You know, members are the heartbeat of Rotary. Our members represent who we are and what we stand for, and they are the way that we deliver impact in the ground. All of our members want to feel engaged, involved, and like they're making a difference. So it's really important that you as club presidents look for those opportunities to create meaningful and engaging roles for our volunteers, for our members, and enable them to participate in projects that really make a difference. So that's my fifth takeaway, that engagement really matters. My sixth takeaway, again, it's been a theme all weekend, is that we absolutely need to be courageous. You know, we need to be courageous to diversify our membership, to make sure that we look more like our communities. And in the end, that will be better for Rotary, because diverse membership equates to diverse thinking styles, equates to better understanding of community problems and better solutions, better impact. So we need to be courageous about diversifying our membership. We absolutely need to be courageous about you know, adapting the way that our clubs operate. We need to adapt our clubs in line with changing needs and expectations of our current and future members. And we need to be courageous to do that, to be modern and responsive. And we absolutely need to be courageous in the way that we deliver service. You know, we need to focus on understanding better our community needs and delivering projects that meet those needs. We have to absolutely have the courage to let go of what we've done before. So they're my 6 takeaways. A great annual theme. We need a special style of leadership. What's your club's why? Humility is everything. Engagement really matters. And we absolutely need to be courageous. And my other takeaway from this wonderful weekend has been a brand new phrase, one new phrase. And it's the phrase radical hospitality. You know, I left the session yesterday and I went home and I looked up the term radical hospitality. And I read that it means the practice of putting extraordinary effort into making people feel welcome. And as we emerge from this pandemic, I cannot think of a more important aim for us all, to make sure that everyone, regardless of their background, culture, expression, or identity, to make sure that everyone feels welcome, involved, and engaged in Rotary. So as I finish, I want to say to you, thank you so much for stepping into the role of president. It's a busy role, but it's an incredibly important role, and you absolutely have the opportunity to shape the future of Rotary in your club. So I'm going to just leave you with 2 key questions to think about. One is, how will you make Rotary thrive? And my second one is, what is the difference that you will make? Thank you, everybody. I'm so proud of you all.